The latest compact gaming keyboards from SteelSeries are the Apex Pro Mini and the Apex Pro Mini Wireless. Coming in both wired and wireless variants, this 60% layout keyboard features OmniPoint 2.0 adjustable switches, a really solid typing feel, and a hefty price tag. So let's dive in and take a closer look at the SteelSeries Apex Pro Mini Wireless. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Hey everyone, I'm Jordan with 9 to 5 Toys, and we do the SteelSeries Apex Pro Mini. This is the wireless variant that we have right here. A 60% keyboard that ditches the numpad and dedicated navigation keys in the name of saving space. The Apex Pro Mini comes in both wired and this wireless variant. The cabled keyboard comes in at $180, while this really seamless, nice looking wireless variant will set you back a whopping $240. And one of the biggest features here that we'll find on both of these keyboards, and we'll dive into a little bit more a little bit later, are the OmniPoint 2.0 switches. Through the SteelSeries GG app, the actuation point of the individual keys can be adjusted from 0.2 to 3.8 millimeters, as well as dual actions can be set up for different actuation depths. And moving on, let's take a look at the overall design. Finished in a black plastic case, the Apex Pro Mini Wireless also has per key RGB that can be easily customized once again from the SteelSeries GG app. And brightness is easy enough to adjust here on the keyboard itself. And you can see at full brightness, it gets plenty bright. I have my studio lights on. You can still see all the RGB on there really easily. So nice and bright on here. It is just in the switches. There's nothing around the perimeter. So there are some other keyboards that offer that, but this one's kept pretty simple. SteelSeries has put 4 buttons in the lower right of the keyboard, one of which is a function key that enables navigation and secondary functions from the rest of the keyboard. The legends are visible on the fronts of the keycaps, so you can easily find what you're looking for. And SteelSeries calls these meta bindings in its GG app. And so all of these can be customized further from within the app if there's some custom functionality that you want to build in there. The case is slim and really tidy around the perimeter of the keys. It's a very compact keyboard. On the top, there is a 3-way switch that swaps between 2.4 GHz, Bluetooth, and then also power off. There is a USB-C port next to the switch for charging. On the back are 2-stage feet to adjust the typing angle of the keyboard. And overall, looking at the back of the keyboard here, it just has this kind of plasticky feel to it that doesn't quite scream $240. Now, obviously, like, the case isn't, the big thing that you're paying for here. It's the wireless functionality and those adjustable switches. But, for that kind of money, you'd maybe like to see something that looks and feels a little bit more premium. The keyboard itself does have a decent amount of heft to it. I think that's, the battery also helps out with that as well. So it doesn't feel super lightweight. Something like the Razer Huntsman Mini that felt really lightweight for a 60% keyboard. This would be kind of like right in the middle and kind of feels a little bit closer to like the HyperX Alloy Origin 60, which has a really beefy build to it. So overall, there's nothing really bad to complain about on this case for the Apex Pro Mini Wireless, but once again, at that price point, it just doesn't necessarily have that super premium feel that you would maybe expect. In the box, the keyboard also includes a USB-A to USB-C cable, an orange keycap puller, a USB-C adapter, and a USB-C wireless dongle. Alright, so hands down, the biggest feature of this keyboard is those OmniPoint 2.0 adjustable switches, where you can adjust the actuation point from 0.2 millimeters, which is just the tiniest little bit, just resting your finger on there just the slightest little bit, all the way down to 3.8 millimeters, so almost a full stroke all the way down. So depending on how you like to type or how you like to game, you can really dial those into your style. And they are a linear switch. It's an optical linear switch, and they feel very smooth, really solid. I've definitely enjoyed the typing experience on these. And these are an expansion of their original OmniPoint switch. This isn't something new to SteelSeries, but these new 2.0 switches just have a little bit more adjustability. Altogether, they say they have, 37 different actuation points in here. So really easy to dial it in. And adjusting that distance is very simple from within the SteelSeries GG app. You can click on a single switch and make adjustments to just one at a time, or you can select groups of switches and adjust all of them at the same time. So me personally, I set it to actually a pretty standard 1.8 millimeters. So kind of halfway through the stroke is where the actuation is for me, just because it's very familiar. With light linear switches like these, when I am gaming, if I have it set too high, I find that I accidentally press buttons. Like if I'm just resting my fingers on my movement keys, then sometimes my fingers just accidentally press on them just because of the weight of the finger on that switch, and it only has to move, 0.2 millimeters. So definitely it's nice to have the ability to dial that in, something that's very unique. And then the other aspect of that is that you can actually set dual actuation points on here. So if you want the top of the switch to do one thing, but then when you fully depress it all the way down, it does something different, you can set that up in here. So I'm just not really sure where exactly I would use that. But once again, you can play around with that and figure out how you want to use it, and just some cool functionality there. And right in line with these premium switches are these nice premium keycaps as well. So they are double shot PBT, so some great durability in there, and then also a pretty nice sound on this keyboard as well. Looking at all the legends on top, everything seems pretty sharp. They're not very fuzzy. All the RGB seems to be coming through nice and brightly as well. So they seem like some really nice keycaps on there. So combined with the the weight of the case and those switches and those keycaps, it's a really nice typing experience overall. So here we'll do a sound test so you can hear what that sounds like. Yeah, so pretty solid overall. The stabilizers even sound pretty good. There's not a whole lot of that high-pitched kind of like ringing, pinging in the keys either, which is something like with the Razer Huntsman Mini, it was really bad at that with their optical switches. But it sounds a lot better on this keyboard from SteelSeries. So moving into different, use cases for this, the highlight of the SteelSeries Apex Pro Mini Wireless for me was definitely gaming. I often have trouble with light linear switches as I accidentally press the keys without knowing just by resting my fingers on them, and that's more extreme with a short actuation force like 0.2 millimeters, but with those Omni Point 2.0 switches, you can easily adjust that. Overall, the keyboard feels very smooth and very fast. I think in their marketing materials, they say it's like 11 times faster. I don't know that I can really experience and, take advantage of that speed, but, it's as fast as you want it to be with those short actuation throws. And I also love the small 60% form factor for gaming. I play mainly FPS games, so I like to have a lot of space for big mouse movements, and a 60% board works great for that. And as far as for typing and productivity, on the other end of the spectrum, I use the arrow keys quite a lot when I am editing videos, and of course 60% keyboards aren't a great fit for productivity for me because of that. So that's where a slightly larger board like the Alloy Origin 65 is a great fit for me. And with those Aqua tactile switches, I've been really enjoying that keyboard. But typing on the Apex Pro Mini Wireless is a really great experience. It looks good, it sounds good, it feels good. And when set to a short actuation force, I do make a lot of typos, but with the keyboard set to that kind of medium level for me, which is more of what I'm used to, the board works really well. And even without being able to adjust the actuation point, because of the smooth quick switches and nice stabilizers, it is a very nice board to type on. Battery life on the wireless is rated up to 40 hours, which would depend on RGB brightness, and recharging the keyboard is very simple, with the USB-C cable and that USB-C adapter for the wireless dongle. So overall, wrapping up here, the SteelSeries Apex Pro Mini Wireless is a really great keyboard. Is it a $240 great keyboard? I'm not sure. Personally, I probably wouldn't pay for that extra functionality. If I really wanted those switches, I would go for the wired version. Although this does look nice and tidy on a desk with a wireless mouse and a wireless keyboard, it really cleans everything up. But personally, I don't know that I could justify spending that extra money for that. I also don't know that I would take full advantage of the OmniPoint 2.0 adjustable switches. I don't really need that shorter actuation distance. I don't think that I need the dual actuation in there either. So kind of the main things that you're paying the extra money for with this keyboard, I don't know that I would use. I don't know that it's for me. But if you do need those things, then the rest of the experience here is pretty solid with the Apex Pro Mini Wireless. Like I mentioned, it would be a little bit nicer, have a little bit more premium of a case, but that's on the bottom anyways, so you aren't looking at that very much. And it has some nice heft to it. It looks good, feels good, and sounds good, which is obviously one of the most important things with keyboards. And for gaming, it's supposed to be really fast as well. So that's going to do it for our review of the SteelSeries Apex Pro Mini Wireless. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments below. And if you're looking for some other videos to watch, I'll link to our review of the HyperX Alloy Origin 65, which is my current favorite keyboard, as well as our most recent video. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.